Maybe he's arriving.
Yeah, he's a little late. It's okay. The player's waiting for him. It's gonna. He's losing his own time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have already here Lucas or Wayland. I don't know if Lucas
Ask, I would. Yes, I think you can bring him to David. You can bring him to VIP. Yeah.
Okay. Peter, we have
Yes. Yes. Hey, Eric. Pleasure to see you after Vietnam. Yeah, bring Eric back there. He's waiting for Eric. Mask, please. No, that's not a recording camera. Hold on right here. Check, check. Can you guys? Hey, everybody. Can you hear me, Remy? We're going to begin momentarily. So just prepare. We're going to set up the players. Check, check. Can you guys?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Today we are joined, welcome to the Lock and Alpha Stage pre-event press conference. Today we are joined by Arthur PM, Guillermet from Carmine Corp, Alex Saleh from PaperX, Nathan D from FPX, and Efrob from Loud. Members of the media had the option to pre-submit questions or ask them live. We will begin first with the pre-submitted questions, then we will go to the remote online media, and then finally with the in-house Brazil media. Let us begin with the first question. Nathan, how do you think FPX will play against how do you think FPX will compare to your fellow Chinese team, Edward Gaming? Do you think you will eventually meet them in the playoffs?
第一个问题来问一下 Nathan 教练，这一次 FPX 出征，您觉得可能会相比于你们的老朋友 EDG， 你觉得你们会表现得如何？会不会两个队伍在最后的淘汰赛当中遇到？
我希望最好我们能遇得上吧。
I hope we can meet EDG at the playoffs.
We'll go next to Alex.
PRX has a 100% win rate against North American teams. How do you think PRX will perform upon facing the star-studded team like Cloud9? And this question is from Adarsh from Sportskeeda.
I wasn't aware of that, but nice, I guess. I mean, I think I speak for everyone in this tournament. Like, we're going in the tournament with no info. You can't anti-strat. So I guess I really have no idea how anything is going to turn out. I just hope that we play like a good game. We haven't been playing very well in scrims, but it's picking up. So hopefully by the time Tuesday rolls about, we'll be ready.
We will now go back to Nathan. Now that there are no restrictions on Valorant in China, how do you think the Chinese Valorant audience will perceive tournaments like Lock-in from here on out?
这个问题要问一下 Nathan 教练。那其实现在对于中国来讲，对于无畏契约是没有任何限制了嘛？然后所以说，您可能会觉得中国的玩家会怎么样去看待这个 Lock-in 这个赛事呢？
我觉得大家普通玩家也好，我们职业玩家也好，会把这个当成中国玩篮的一个开始。
I believe, including all the players, the pro players, and also the fans of Valorant, this Lock-in tournament can be a very good start for Chinese Valorant.
We will now move to questions from the remote online media. Please use the Zoom hand raise feature if you would like to ask a question, and then we will call on you. Would anyone like to go first? Let's start with our favorite, Declan from Deserto.
Hi, my question is for Nathan. We've seen some reports of a Valorant League coming to China, and I was just wondering, in your perspective, how would you prefer a Chinese league to be set up and integrated into the current circuit, and how do you think it should be integrated with international qualifications, like to this tournament at Masters and beyond?
这个问题要问一下 Nathan 教练。其实我们有看到相关的报道，无畏契约在中国也已经取得了版号嘛。那所以说，想问一下您的看法，就是对于接下来无畏契约在中国的一些建立和发展，然后包括说和其他的国际赛事比肩，就是您对此有什么样自己的一个看法？
你再说一遍。
就是对于中国无畏契约接下来的发展啊，然后包括说可能和其他的未来的赛区，然后包括说很多像 Masters 啊、Challengers 这些赛事相比，就是您觉得中国无畏契约未来的发展是怎么样的？
就像我刚说的一样，我觉得我们中国这边的队伍也会慢慢的开始向国际靠齐吧。
As I just said, I believe the Chinese Valorant teams will improve in the future and to try to approach the level of the international stage.
Okay, we will go next to Cecilia from Esports Mag.
Hello, everyone. If possible, I would like to ask this question to all four coaches.
Please ask your question to one player, not all four players.
Okay, then I would like to ask my question to SKTJ. How do you expect this tournament to shape the competitive year of Valorant worldwide?
Who's your question for? Cecilia?
Louds coach?
Loud.
Oh, can you repeat the question again?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, sure. How do you expect this tournament to shape the competitive year of Valorant worldwide?
I think that the competitive scene is going to evolve. I think that all the regions are forming very strong teams in their respective regions. So I'm just really excited to see this kick off and see the rest of the tournament throughout the year to make sure that, everyone is like all the super teams in every region. And I think that it's only going to bring much more excitement and much more strength to all the regions, and will elevate the competition internationally at a global stage just like this, and even in Masters and Champions.
Thank you. We'll go next to George from Dot Esports.
I'm not even a favorite anymore. This is crazy. I thought I was your favorite, Anton. It's all good. I'll have a question to Fraud, please, if that's okay.
George.
I would like to basically just ask about the status of the team. Obviously, I wanted to know if they're, how are they feeling? How are you feeling? Is everyone okay?
Yeah, everyone's doing great. We've been resting, making sure that we're taking the right medication, lots of vitamins. The guys just really need a lot of rest. So we've been focusing these last several days on getting as much sleep as we can. For someone like myself and Gawan, we've been feeling 100% for a couple of days now. So no issues there. Just making sure that the rest of the players get as much rest, vitamins, and medication that they need, and everyone will be good to go hopefully in the next 24 hours. But everyone's on the path to improvement, and slowly but surely everyone will feel 100%.
We'll next go
Thank you.
to AD from VLR.
Thank you so much. This question is for Nathan D. My question is, with FPX's win against EDG in FGC Epilogue as Zuhue, FPX have rose through the ranks within the Chinese scene as one of the juggernauts towards the end of the year. But now, with FPX's first exposure to the wider Valorant teams, international teams, regional teams, how have the teams adapted towards the community as a whole, and how have the team adapted for practice towards lock-in?
其实这个问题想问一下 Nathan 教练，其实FunPlus 一路走来嘛，然后包括也一路走来也是经历了非常多，那现在也是来到了这种国际性大赛的舞台上，所以说可能整个队伍是怎么样来向这种国际大赛，然后逐渐的去适应，然后是现在适应的又如何呢？
这虽然是我们的第一次线下赛，也是我们第一次参加的国际赛，但是我们所有人都非常的激动，所有人都对这次比赛抱有学习也很大的期待自己的展示吧。
This is our first time to play in the arena, and also this is our first international tournament. So everyone are very excited inside our team, and I hope through this experience we can learn a lot from different teams, and we hope we can show our ability to all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll go next to Kushal from Sportskeeda.
Hey guys, I would like to direct my question to Alex from PRX. My question would be, which team outside APAC are you most excited to play against here in Lock-in?
Outside APAC?
Yeah.
I mean, my teammates want to play against Sentinels, but we can only play the team in front of us. And I think Cloud9, it'll be very nice to play against them.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. We'll go next to Alejandro Sandoval from Level Up.
Hello guys, my question goes for Fraud from Loud. So being the head coach for the World Champions, how do you see their current level if compared against the VCT Americas teams after working with them these last few months and after all the off-season changes?
Well, I was working with them a little bit in Turkey as an analyst. So I think that I have a good understanding of where we were and where we are now. And I think that we've been on the path to improvement. I think we lost some very talented and great individual players, and we've also picked up some young talented players that have a lot of promise, a lot of talent, and just being able to be involved with them for quite a long time now. Helping mold the talent and trying to teach them certain things. I think that we'll be much better off, and we're really excited to show what we have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We'll go next to Camus. Camus, if you can unmute your mic.
Yeah, no worries. How's it going? Fraud, how you doing, Bren? I just wanted to ask another question real quick for Fraud. Basically, I wanted to see, I know that you've coached a ton of teams and worked with a ton of teams over here, like in the US for a long time and in other games and Valorant. Has it been a difference in culture for you to like coach in a different country and coach another team, even though you can speak? I mean, I assume that you can speak some Spanish. I don't know if you speak Portuguese. I don't know exactly what that is, if you want to add that into your answer too. But basically, I just want to know, like, how big of a difference is it like working with a team that's not from the US and Have you like implemented a lot of your own changes onto them and vice versa, or like what's that been like?
It's been an amazing experience. I mean, I've been competing for a very long time, and I've always had great relationships and friendships with the Brazilian scene, going all the way back to the guys like Kogu and stuff like that. So, and just to give an insight, my family is from Cuba, so I'm fluent in Spanish, and just over the last several months, dove right into speaking Portuguese. So, fairly fluent in Portuguese already, and you know, it's not about really implementing my style. It's more of finding out a common ground to make sure that, you know, I can teach them some of the things that they're missing, and also understand, you know, the Brazilian scene is much different than the NA scene, of course. So for me, it's an honor, and I'm extremely excited to be a part of a different scene, and honestly one that I've been wanting to be a part of for a long time. Like I said, just even having friendships with Kogu and all those guys back in the day, they've always, you know, joked around about joining my team and whatnot, and I was always potentially interested in some of those opportunities. So when I got the call to be a part of this team, I dove head first, and like I said, it's an honor to be a part of such a strong scene with such great history, and you know, one that I've forged a lot of relationships over the last 15, 20 years, and just continue to plan on doing that and diving, like I said, diving headfirst into speaking the language and being a part of this team.
Thank you. We'll go next to Sean Garris.
Hey, what's up, Danny? This question's for Fraud. I'm curious. I mean, you have a lot of work, right? Because you joined the #1 team in the world. You guys lose 2 players, and the maps change. So, what has it been like incorporating the 2 new maps with you guys? Like, who's been the lead voices here and getting like Split and Lotus in the map pool? Because with Breeze and Bind stepping out, like that's what made Loud, you know, a heavy contender last year. What's it been like developing game plans on these 2 new maps?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, hello, Sean. It's been a while. And yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, I was already with them as the analyst in Turkey. So I was able to get an understanding of their map pool, game plans, and all that. And, you know, honestly, I think that the guys were more focused on several of their strong maps and maybe not really focusing on some of the other maps. So one of the first things that I said when we came in is we're not going to have a permaban. And we're going to make sure that we're strong on every map. You know, Split's a map that's very much played a lot in NA. So I do have some understanding of the map, and, you know, maps that we maybe didn't have as much confidence in before. It was my big focus to make sure that we gain confidence in that map, formulate the game plans with the guys together. You know, it's not like I have the solutions for it. They provide good answers, and it's my job to ask the questions and make sure that we're talking about the right topics. So ultimately, I think that we're on a, you know, we're down the right path, making sure that we're getting enough looks on every map and a proper game plan.
Thank you. We'll next go to Lizzie. Lizzie, please unmute your mic if you have a question.
你好，我想提问一下，就是那个 Loud 的教练，我想知道冠军教练对于中国选手的枪法和战术安排上，与世界其他赛区的参赛选手之间是否存在差距？这个差距大概有多大呢？翻译小姐姐帮我翻译一下，谢谢。
您能再说一下吗？
就是我想知道中国选手。 就其他赛区的教练对于中国选手的枪法和战术安排方面，和世界其他赛区的参赛选手是否存在差异？这个差异具体有多大呢？
So this question is over to Ford. So because this is a Chinese media, so she wants to ask a bit about your thoughts towards all the Chinese players as the champions coach. What's your perspective towards Chinese players' ability and also their strategy? And can you see maybe is there any difference between the Chinese players and also the players from other regions, and how big this difference is?
Well, when it comes to Valorant, I haven't really seen as much games from the Chinese region, but I do know that they have very strong players, very strong tactics and teamwork. I think that that's something that has been strong in Counter-Strike as well for a long time. And just from my experience against playing teams from China, they're always extremely coordinated, great tactics and great individual skills. One of the hardest teams to play against. So if they get really strong in China, I think we're all going to be in trouble.
那其实就无畏契约这款游戏而言，其实到目前为止，我们还没有非常多的机会，然后和中国的这些队伍来交手。但是毫无疑问，我觉得这些中国的选手们，我知道是有一些他们其中有非常强的个人能力，而且他们也有很好的一些战术安排，很好的团队配合。那就我个人的经历而言呢，我可能会觉得这些中国选手他们有很强大的个人实力，然后包括说他们的战术也是非常强的。那其实我觉得，如果他们在未来会打得更好，变得更强的话，我觉得我们都会陷入麻烦之中。我也不得不说，和他们的很多其中的中国队伍一起交手，可能对我来讲都是觉得非常的困难的。
Oh, that was the translation. Thank you. I'm sorry for that. Rabia, this is a question from Rabia from Jinx. This is to Efrod. This is the first ever LAN event in Brazil, and Loud will be playing in front of a local audience. How are the spirits of the team?
The spirits of the team are very high. This is something that we've been looking forward to the day it was announced. We're super excited to be representing Brazil and playing in Brazil. So for us, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. We've practiced extremely hard since the team was formed mid to late October. We even went to a boot camp for 2 weeks in Spain, focused very hard there, trained 12, 14 hours a day out there. So we're coming to this tournament, hopefully to put a good show to the fans out there that hopefully they can come out and support us.
Thank you. We'll next go to Alan Guy from China.
Yeah, hi. So I don't know. 我还是用中文提问吧，那麻烦夏安帮我翻译一下吧。内森你好 ，Hello，
你好
，Hello，我看你有点紧张，那个来聊一聊吧，因为我刚才其实刚好跟就在前面其实刚好采访过 Scream， 就是你们的第一轮的对手，就的头将嘛。然后首先你对头将有多少了解嘛？然后你是怎么评价他这个选手的？
就觉得他这个选手就不管什么情况都非常冷静吧，而且他的风格也是让人很惊讶的，很难以置信的那种操作什么的。他选择的他的决定都是一些风险特别高，什么 one tap 啊之类的。
对，夏安你要翻译一下吗？还是说我们对
So this question is over to Nathan D. So in the previous interviews, I have made the interview with Scream, your opponents from KC. So what's your thoughts towards him? Do you have any evaluations toward this player? And his answer is, I believe for Scream, this player, he can always keep very calm in different situations. And also in terms of his playstyle, he definitely have amazing individual plays, individual abilities. And sometimes he may have some risky choice, but I believe he's a very strong player.
OK， 然后我第二个问题问到 Nathan 呢，就是这个你们自己现在对于这场比赛的这个预期是什么样子？然后你们觉得就以你们现在来看，你们的胜率如何吧？直白一点。
我觉得我们目前训练赛的效果的话，大家表现的还行。至于走多远的话，看大家自己的发挥吧。我们反正也准备了挺多东西什么的。
好。
So the second question is also to Nathan D. So question was, what's your expectation towards the following matchup against Casey? And also what's your thoughts towards the win rate? And he said like, our screen based on our performance from our screens, I believe our performance can be quite okay, but I'm not sure like how long we can go through this tournament, but definitely we have tried our best to make a full preparation towards the following matchups.
Thank you. I believe this was the last question from the remote media. We will now pivot to on-site Portuguese media. If possible, please ask your questions in English. And if not, we will provide a translator. Would anyone like to go first? There's a mic immediately to your right if you want to just use that.
Hello, I am Valentina from Gazeta TV. And my question is for you all, please. So please tell us about the athletes' preparation for a very high performance competition like this one, and how they can do this far away from home. Thank you.
We'll start with Efrod and then we'll work our way down the line.
Yeah, so we've been just really focusing on practicing a lot. Our boot camp was amazing. Thank you very much to Loud for allowing us to have that opportunity. And I think for us, that was something that we really needed, specifically because we spent a lot of time practicing here in Brazil and we wanted to test what we're doing against different styles of play. So for us, we've just been practicing as hard as we can and making sure that we're prepared for this tournament.
Alex?
I mean, for Paper X, I think we are lucky because we keep the same roster, so we don't have to change much. I think we were mainly waiting for the chamber patch to come out before we decided like how we were going to approach the meta. So when it came out, that was when we ramped up our practice a little bit more. Aside from that, it was a very long year for us last year, so we took a long break, just to like avoid burnout, try and recharge. So after the turn of the year, January, we started practicing a lot harder, and yeah, it should look good.
PM?
Hello, the preparation went good. Main idea was to build a system that Adil was bringing as an idea. It's a team we created from scratch with 2 rookies, and we had 3 months and 1 bootcamp to do so. And we are very satisfied with how it's going right now. Now we are here in Brazil and we just want to kick things up, get on hands or the mouse pad and the mouse and the keyboard, just to get the habit of playing in another country, another setup and on stage. And I know that with the experienced player that we have, the 3 of them, we won't have any trouble to feel the pressure. We will feed on it actually. So we're feeling pretty confident.
然后也想问一下 Nathan 教练，其实 Lock-in 也是非常大的一个国际赛事嘛，所以说想问一下队伍是怎么样来准备这次国际赛事的？
其实也没有太说特别的东西，只是加强我们平时所需要的，然后根据国际赛大家的强队啊，他们什么的打法，然后多去吸取一下每个强队他们的共同之处，然后也对，就这次对手虽然他们没有打过他们的新阵容，没有打过1次比赛，但是我们也有特别的处理，就这样。
To be honest, we didn't make some special preparations towards these international tournaments. We just would like to focus on our normal practice. And also we learn a lot from all very strong teams. We try to learn their play style and learn a lot of stuff from them. And for our opponent, Casey, although they're a very new roster, but definitely they are a very strong team. And we have tried our best to make some preparations toward that.
Thank you. Are there any more questions from the Brazilian media?
Hello.
Hello.
Go ahead.
I'm Pedro from iSports, and this question is to Prod. So you actually worked with Loud during the preparation for Champions last year, and now you're coaching the team full time. Can you talk a little bit about this transition and how is this experience of working with the team?
The transition was very smooth. Forged a lot of great relationships. Obviously, we had success in Turkey, so through that, we bonded very well from that experience. And honestly, it's been an amazing experience being a part of this team. Obviously, they're extremely hard workers, very talented, and being able to, build the team with young, talented players. I mean, Sadek in his mid-20s and everyone else on the team is 17 or 19 years old. So we have a lot of young, talented players on the team, obviously, and some of them are already world champions. So it's all about them gaining that experience, showing it to the younger players, and also for myself, trying to give as much of experience and knowledge to these guys as much as possible. And honestly, I couldn't have asked for anything better. Like I said, the moment that Loud offered me this opportunity, I dove head first.
Thank you. Are there any more questions from the in-house media?
Yeah, have one more.
Go ahead. You can take the mic off the stand.
Easier now, thank you. This is for Fraud. Hi, I'm Ariella from VALORANT Zone. We know Loud's match was his schedule for another day. So I want to ask you, how are the guys feeling? Because we know they were kind of sick. We don't have the details, but I want to ask you, how are you guys dealing with this such happening?
I mean, just a good old fashioned cold or flu, no one has COVID. We've tested negative every day. We've just been taking the vitamins, medicine that the doctors have been prescribing to us. I've also made some pharmaceutical runs to make sure that we have vitamins to drink all the time, flushing our systems as much as we can. The guys are feeling much better. I would say within the next 24 to 48 hours, everyone should be hopefully 100%. You know, the situation like this is very difficult, especially when the whole team started feeling ill. So one by one, everyone started improving, and you know, the last couple individuals that maybe weren't feeling as great yesterday, we got, you know, a lot better news that they're feeling much better today. So our focus 100% is for those guys to sleep as much as they can, take the medicines and vitamins provided to them, and to just, like I said, focus on sleep and rest. And with that, I am very confident that the players will be 100% and we'll be able to put a good showing on Wednesday. And very much thank you to Riot for accommodating our situation and providing us all the help that they can. You know, from all of it, like the doctors on site, Bia, who's helping us, our handler, everyone has been top, and you know, we couldn't thank them enough for this.
Thank you. Are there any more questions from the in-house media?
Yeah, there's one more.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask Arthur, which team do you most want to play against in this tournament, and what's your expectation for your team?
Can you please pick one player to, or one individual for this question?
Yeah, I want to ask the coach from the KC,
That's me.
Arthur. Yeah, that's you. Okay,
Go ahead. I'm
okay.
sorry, I missed that.
So what's the question? Which team we want to play?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, which team do you most want to play against in the tournament?
Well, if our friends from China are not up to the task, we expect and we wish to play against our friends from Brazil. Obviously, Loud, we like them so much. And maybe, if everything goes well, Koi, for some obvious reasons.
Thank you. I believe this concludes the first press conference. We will return momentarily with John Needham, Anna Donlan, Waylon Roselle, and Leo Faria. Hello, everyone. We are joined by John Needham, President of Riot Esports, Anna Donlan, Executive VP of Valorant, Waylon Roselle, COO of Riot Esports, and Leo Faria, Head of Valorant Esports. We will begin with some pre-submitted questions, with the first being about the Team Summit. I understand the past 2 days you met with the 30 owners that are participating in the international leagues. Can you share how the last 2 days of conversation went?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been planning this partnership and these new leagues for a few years now, and it was really awesome to kick it off with this opportunity to meet all the 30 teams. I think a big theme of the summit was collaboration, how to work with them, how to align our incentives to grow the sport, build big impactful moments for fans and for Valorant players, how to build fandom, how to grow our business. And it was really awesome. I think, the excitement was really palpable. We talked about our vision for the future, our plans for the season. Of course, everything we discussed was confidential, as we have plans for these, all of these news and things we're going to do in the future to be rolled out and announced in the future. But it was really awesome. I think we were all super excited. We ended the summit with a tour of the venue with all the team owners that came here to get to know the venue and lock in and meet the teams. So yeah, I think it was really awesome, a great start to the partnership, and we can get ready to start everything with lock-in on Monday.
Thank you. Our next question is from Adarsh Kumar from Sportskeeda in India. It's to John Needham. What was the thought behind having a 32 single elimination bracket here at lock-in, considering that 16 of those teams will be eliminated after their opening match?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing was, one, it's super exciting to have 32 teams here. It's the biggest tournament we've done, which is amazing. And we just don't have a lot of time to do a double elim format. So given the time that we had and the constraints we had in the schedule, we had to do single elim.
Thank you. Our next question is going to be to Leo Faria. It's also from Adarsh from India. Was there any specific reason for selecting Brazil as the location of VCT lock-in?
Yeah. So we are so excited to be here. I think for a number of reasons, including COVID. We hosted all of our global events in 2021 and 2022 in the EMEA region. We went to Berlin a couple of times, to Iceland. We brought champions to Istanbul. It was incredible, but we came into the season in 2023 with this huge desire to bring our events all over the world. We're bringing Masters to Tokyo, which we're also super excited about, but Brazil felt like the perfect choice for lock-in. The Valorant community here is incredible. The player base is amazing. It's growing. The community, they have a really strong history with FPS. They are the reigning champions of Valorant with Loud last year. So we're just super excited to be here.
It's absolutely not because Leo is from Brazil.
Although he did say he felt very comfortable doing it.
We're going to go back to John for this next one. It's from Ryan Central. At Worlds last year, you had an interview with Travis Gafford about League's audience being more interested in watching esports to improve at the game. You also said that you saw Valorant as more of an entertainment product. Do you think that's likely to shift over time from a viewer and broadcaster perspective, especially with tools like a demo viewer being worked on in Val's future?
Yeah, I don't know. We're constantly looking at feedback on our shows and our events, and we want to deliver what our fans ask for. I think given the pros that play in the Valorant leagues, just generally being more charismatic and, having bigger personalities, that we have a lot more to work with from an entertainment perspective with them. But really, at the end of the day, our fans will tell us the kind of show that we should make, and we're going to make that show.
Thank you. We're going to go to Leo for this next one. Leo, this is from Declan from Deserto. We've seen multiple reports of Valorant League coming to China this year. Can you confirm that China will get a pro league, and if it might be a fit into and how it might fit into the rest of the circuit?
Yeah. So we are so excited about China. We just got the license for Valorant that we've been waiting for a few years now. It's one of the biggest gaming markets in the world. We know from League of Legends how amazing that community are, how dedicated they are, how much effort they put into competing and winning championships. So we're building a plan for competitions in China right now. We still don't know exactly how that will take shape, but of course we want to welcome China into the VCT. We have 2 Chinese teams playing at Lock-in, of course, invited teams, EDG and FPX. And we're building a plan for the rest of the season and then foreseeable future, but we'll definitely, even though we have no plans to announce right now, we'll definitely make sure China has a big presence in the VCT.
Thank you. We'll now move to asking questions from the remote media. Please use the Zoom hand raise function if you would like to ask a question, and then we will call on you. Let's begin with Addy Aiden from VLR.gg.
Thank you so much. This question is from Anna. So earlier during VCT's, the 2023 VCT season's announcement during Champions, we were shown a trailer as well as a tidbit about an in-game competition. Of course, later through the year, we would know it as Premier. Now, it has been said that Premier would tie into the larger VCT ecosystem. What is the exact specifics on how the system, the in-game tournament system, would tie into the whole ecosystem towards challengers, ascensions, and ending up towards the international leagues? Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, when we designed Premier, we were definitely thinking about how it would give all of our players a chance to get a taste of what competitive play feels like at that level. We wanted to make sure that players had a real clear path to pro, and we worked really closely with the esports team to make sure that that connective tissue could exist. I think we're actually going to be announcing a lot of our plans around Premier over the next couple of weeks. So I don't want to go through the entire format today. That is coming very soon. But I would say I would expect that teams should be looking to Premier for a place to recruit from, a place to see new talent rising, and hopefully to see actual connections up from the game into the actual tournaments. But I don't want to share it all because we're gonna share it in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah.
Thanks. We'll go next to Juan Torres from Prensa Esports. Juan, if you can unmute your mic, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. My question is for John. I don't know if it's like the environment here in the Latin esports community, but I've seen some doubts of the price of the tournament. If the team that wins Lock-in gets an extra space in Masters, or the team that wins exactly gets an extra slot, but for the region where he belongs.
It's for the, if I may.
Yeah, it's for the region.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
We'll go next to George from .esports.
Hi, everyone. Pleasure to speak to you all. I think I think I'll send this one over to Leo. I think he'd probably be the best for this question. Obviously, the existence of a China league, we kind of spoke about it before. But on the actual teams themselves, let's say they kind of come into fruition maybe next year or the year later, whatever happens. Will they qualify for the Pacific Ascension, or how will they kind of be integrated with the wider international circuit?
So, George, the honest answer, we don't know yet, but we think China is probably big enough from a player-based perspective to be their own league. I think we're going to see how the game performs in the market, how the initial competitions will go. But I think, again, just from a historical perspective, looking at the market and how competitive those teams are, I think they will probably, there's a good chance they will become the 4th IL in the VCT in the future.
Thank you. We'll go next to Alejandro from Level Up.
Hello, everyone. My question is for Leo. Based on what we have seen in Worlds, we know how hard it is to move teams from around the world into one single place. So how was the planning around VCT Lock-in as to move nearly 30 teams into Sao Paulo?
Yeah. So the whole purpose of Lock-in is to celebrate the launch of VCT, right? We wanted to bring all 30 teams together, plus 2 from China, to bring the entire VALORANT community together, to celebrate the sport, to celebrate the teams, but also to introduce the teams to the world. Because as we all know, a lot of these teams are joining our sport now. For a lot of these players and these teams, this is the first time they're competing after roster mania and a lot of players moving around. A lot of these rosters are new and this is their first competition. So introducing the teams to the world was a big goal for Lock-In. We're not only having them here to compete, but we're capturing a bunch of content, producing features, meet the teams, producing content around players, around teams and their strategies. And I think the idea of having everyone here was just, we wanted to give everyone a fresh start. We wanted to give everyone a chance to compete and show themselves. And yeah, we think it's going to be this huge celebration, and we're just very excited to see it live on Monday.
Okay, thank you so much.
You. We'll go next to Cecilia from Esports Mag.
Hello, everyone. My question is for Waylon. So last year, League and Riot in general said that League esports aspires to become the future of sport in EMEA. How does Valorant fit into that aspiration of Riot?
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, we do believe that esports can reflect the future of where sports are going. And I think if you look back at the first 10 years of Riot esports in their existence, a lot of what we were doing is pulling tropes and rituals and traditions from sports and trying to fit it into video games. And I think a big thing that, especially John, as he's joined and formed a global esports team and sort of unified us and rallied us around the idea of how can we push beyond sport and really lean into what is special and unique about esports. And I think Valorant, as a fresh game hitting really hard across all territories that it's launched in, has a strong global community, is one of those games that's poised to be able to stand the test of time. And you can see from the relaunch of the VCT and how we're really investing deeply into the 3 ILs that, we're all in on investing into the game and the sport and the whole community. And so we do think that Valorant's going to be one of these games, along with League of Legends, that will have the runway to help redefine the concept of sport for people everywhere. And that's something that we're very passionate about on the team.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go next to Tim Kimberg from Spike Tap. Tim, if you can unmute your mic.
Oh, hey, sorry. Yeah, my question is for John. I basically just wanted to see, I've seen a lot of, I follow most of the Riot esports pretty heavily, and I've seen a lot of the video basically where you talk about your goal for TFT and your goal for League. I guess I wanted to see, since each esport has different approaches and fan interactions, and you watch Valorant, there's a lot more watch parties. You watch League, there's a lot more focus on the main broadcast and less on the watch parties. I guess I wanted to, and TFT is a little more different as well. I guess I wanted to see, with your goal for TFT kind of being officially as we want to have a lot more competitors and participants in the esport, what is your goal with Valorant? Is it we want to have a lot of participants? Is it more viewership based? Is it a combo of the two? Is it something else that we haven't really seen you focus on yet? So yeah, what is the exactly how you want fans and players to interact with Valorant and its goal at the end of the road as an esport?
Yeah, look, I think we always, our goal is always to inspire our players with just, top-notch competition and the best players in the world. And that really isn't specific to any sport that we do. For Valorant specifically, it's pretty simple. We want to be the #1 FPS esport on the planet. That's our goal. And we want to deliver a show that our fans are super proud of. And make them very proud of being part of the Valorant community.
Thank you. We'll go next to Nadine from .esports.
Hello, my question is for John. So we've already kind of had a lot of questions today about Valorant VCT being such a global league. So we've already had a lot of questions about the league in China, etc. So my question is a little bit specific here. So we've seen two orgs, Genji and T1, actually try Valorant in North America and then end up in VCT Pacific after franchising. And so my question for you is, how do you feel about the potential of this rivalry from League of Legends kind of maybe coming into play in VCT? And also, if you have thoughts about orgs kind of being based in multiple regions and how that works just not only in the future of just VCT, but in esports in general, as we're seeing it become more of a global kind of, these companies are becoming more established globally, not necessarily just based in one region.
Yeah, no, we love that. So first of all, of course, we love rivalry. We want to lean into those stories, and it's just great for sport to have two teams that want to play against each other and don't really like each other so much. So it's always good for sport. As far as fandom, you know, I think it's one of the things that's different about esports, and we very much support our teams that want to establish fans in different regions around the world, because I think as gamers, we play with friends from all around the world. I think our audience, when they look at these teams, it's not so localized as it is with traditional sports. They are fans of the players, they are fans of the teams, regardless of where those teams are from. So yeah, I just think fandom generally around esports is more international than fandom around traditional sports, and we want to support that.
And then just to build off of that, if you look at the international leagues, right, that we're in some ways putting that concept to the test.
Yes.
Where you have leagues that might not be played in your home country, but it really is representative of the broader territory. And we do believe that with great partner teams, with strong local on the ground broadcasts, with good partners doing co-streaming and really leaning into the concept of really high produced multi-language feeds, we can have a league that represents more than just one city or one region or one country. And so we do think that that is something that is unique about esports. We're very excited.
100%.
Yes.
I heard Sentinels is getting a big following in Brazil now with
And we'll take this as the last question from remote media. We'll go to Sean Gares.
Oh, thank you. My question's for Anna, and I'm wondering, you guys have so many updates and things that you released into the game. Recently, the Stinger nerf came in, and I believe you guys are using that patch at this tournament. Can you speak to, I guess, the future key updates that you might see on the horizon, like the cadence of them, big agents coming in the game, new maps being removed, and how will that affect pro play? Like, will you guys be taking time off or forcing patches? And is that a question you guys are asking yourselves behind the scenes?
Hi, Sean. Good to hear from you. Yeah, so we are definitely looking at this constantly, especially with the cadence of the sport itself and the events themselves starting to ratchet up and become a little bit more formalized, and we're kind of getting into more of a rhythm. We work really, really closely on the game team with the esports team to figure out the right time to release content. And right now, those calendars are still not perfect, but the goal is through the course of this year to get them to a really, really healthy place. I think in terms of like, I'm definitely not going to spoil any new agents, maps, etc. But what I will say is, you know, when we launched the game, I think we launched what we felt was content light. I think we felt like we didn't have enough in the game to really support the kind of depth that we were looking for. But now I think at this point, we have a lot of content, and I think we probably have to slow the release of new content down quite like a bit in order to, you know, adapt to the needs of the players so that you can learn new things, get good at new things, and not have the game be so constantly changing. And then one extra plug, I'm really excited. We've just hired a bunch of players from the community. It's like nice to have the game out long enough that we can start hiring players into Riot. And that team works really closely to figure out what the right type of balance will be, both for like the full player community, but also more specifically for the sport. So it's definitely something we think about constantly. We need to do what's best for, you know, the majority of players that are playing, which means if something's broken, we want to fix it. If something's too strong, we want to nerf it, but we also have to be really cognizant of what that means to the sport. And then we definitely do have delays in between like when things become available. And then we also have things like map bans. So I think we'll just constantly be evaluating those things to make sure we get the balance just right.
Thanks, Anna.
Thanks, Sean.
We now want to give an opportunity for the in-house media to ask any questions. If you would like to, just please stand up to the microphone and we will call on you.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Maria Eduarda. I'm from MGG, and my question is for all of you. I want to know, what do you feel like the São Paulo atmosphere can bring to the start of this new competitive season, and since the tournament is changing so much?
Look, I can start. I'm super biased. I think the Brazilian crowd is I think the Brazilian crowd is the best in the world. And I mean, we cannot wait to see the energy and everyone coming in and showing their passion and yelling and chanting and singing along with the spectacle. I think it's going to be awesome. Players are really excited to be here. We're seeing everyone trying Brazilian food and exploring the city. And I think it's really a big celebration, and it feels that way. It feels like a big party. Everyone is coming together. Everyone is happy about the start. Everyone is like excited to see what's new. We're leaning on everything being new. So I think the Brazilian crowd and Brazilian fans will only make it better.
And I heard there's an actual big party about to happen pretty soon as well.
I heard that as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, Brazil esports is super popular here across all of our games. Fans are super passionate. I can't wait to see them during the live event tomorrow. But this market for Valorant specifically, it's a really important market to us for our players. We have a lot of players here. They love the game. We want to feed into that. So it's one of the perfect places to start.
Are there any more questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Valentina from Gazeta TV, and my question is for Ana. Ana, after these days in Brazil, do you think you have some new ideas to put into Valorant? Maybe a new weapon or character?
It's a very specific question. So, as a Raze main, I will say that I'm very, very love where Raze is from. And I think honestly, I don't know about Brazil, I don't want to speak specifically to Brazil because we are a very global game. But what I will say is that one of the things we love the most about what we're doing with Valorant right now is that we're celebrating players from all over the world. The fact that our game is set on Earth gives us a lot of opportunities to tell stories from around the world. We've seen our players fall in love with those stories. Our players don't only want to hear about themselves, they want to hear stories from other regions. They want to understand what players love in other countries. And so we're always drawing inspiration from the communities that we visit, and we're always drawing inspiration from the communities where our players exist. So we will continue to do it. It's one of my favorite things about the game, quite honestly, is that we get to represent all of you in the game itself. So we will definitely continue to do that. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't get to stay for Carnival, so there probably won't be a Carnival skin anytime soon, but we'll see what we can do.
Go ahead.
Hey, my name is Raquel from Valorant Zone. I want a question for Leo in Portuguese. It's
Sure.
okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Como
Okay.
foi a dinâmica de planejar campeonato internacional durante dos maiores eventos que tem no Brasil, que é o Carnaval?
That's a great question. Do you want the answer in
Go ahead in Portuguese.
Português? A gente, assim, quando a gente planejou o calendário da Season 2023, esse é um ano muito especial e muito único. A gente queria dar oportunidade e tempo para os times estabelecerem novos hubs. Então, vários times se mudaram para Los Angeles, para Berlim, para Seul. Então, a ideia de fazer o lock-in veio antes de escolher o local, e o momento tinha que ser esse. Eu acho que o fato de fazer durante o carnaval trouxe alguns desafios logísticos, assim, os hotéis são cheios, os voos são mais caros, alguns países a gente demorou um pouco mais de tempo para conseguir vistos, mas no fim das contas, assim, deu tudo certo, tá dando tudo certo, a galera vai acabar curtindo o carnaval, e a gente está, enfim, super feliz. Vamos ver o show ao vivo amanhã, mas vai ser muito bacana.
Hi, my question goes, I'm Eduardo from Base Rush. My question goes to John.
You can take off your mask just for a second.
With Leo already spoiling you, the fans tomorrow are going to be wild.
Yeah.
With the lock-in being a success, do you think that Sao Paulo or Brazil can receive like a League of Legends event, international events later?
Yeah, we were here. When were we here?
2017 for MSI?
2017. It's been a while. Yeah, I mean, I said this in an interview recently. CB LOL continues to increase fandom, become more popular. The viewership is great. So yeah, we will be back at some point with Lee. We have no announcements right now, but we will be back. This is a super important audience for us.
Any more questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi guys, my name is Ariela. I'm from Valorant Zone, and my question is for Anna. Since the launch of Valorant, Valorant had some collaborations with artists, and the last one was with Nico for Champion Song. And we want to know if there's anything new for this year. Are you guys planning something? Can you give a little spoiler for us?
I can give no spoilers. But I can say, yes, we are going to do more things. I think, what we're seeing with this community and this community of players is that they really want to blend their interests quite a bit. It's not just gaming, it's gaming and music, it's gaming and art, it's gaming and fashion, it's gaming and culture. And we're looking for every opportunity to combine those things. We think it's what players want. I think it's what makes our brand even cooler. I think working with those people make us cooler than we are. So yeah, we will definitely do more collaborations. I'm so sorry. I wish I could spoil them, but there are people back home that will murder me. So, but more to come.
Thank you. And this will be the last question of the press conference.
Okay, Valentina from Gazeta TV, and my question now is for John. So Brazil has one of the biggest audience around the world when we're talking about electronic games and sports. Tell us about your expectations to see this crowd into this arena in the next few days.
Okay, our objective is always to blow our fans' minds. We talk about it all the time. I want to feel the arena shaking tomorrow. I want to be shook out of my seat. And I know this audience will do that. So yeah, I mean, look, we've just recently gotten back to having live audiences. That energy we absolutely live for. This is not easy to do. This is what fuels us. So we'll blow your mind, blow ours too.
Let's go.
John, Waylon, Anna, Leo, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. This will conclude the second press conference, and we'll be back with our players after this.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, folks. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. We are back with the next batch of players. Joining us today are Shados from Koi, Finesse from NRG, Kwanzin from Loud, and King from Gen G. We will begin with some pre-submitted questions, and then we will move to the remote media. Let us take a look. Let's start with FNS. As a large core of former Optic Gaming joined NRG, how have Som, Twifo, and Artis adapted to the playstyle you all engineered during your past success? And this question is from Brandon Moore at esports.gg.
I think they're adapting pretty well. Overall, it's been pretty smooth transition. Obviously, we made 2 big changes, and also adding Twifo helps a lot as well. Both Sam and Artis have done a pretty good job of like adapting to the way we like to play, and we've also taken some ideas from their previous teams and what they like to do as well.
This next question will be for King. How does it feel to be representing Gen G from the Korean scene? Are there any extra pressures to prove yourselves as a new roster?
킹 선수께 질문 드릴게요. 젠지에서 경기를 뛰게 됐는데, 한국을 대표하는 자리이기도 하잖아요. 좀 뭔가 스스로 보여줘야겠다는 부담감이 있는지, 그리고 이렇게 좀 젠지에서 경기를 치르게 된 소감을 묻고 싶습니다.
일단은 뭐 굳이 나서려고 안 해도 뭔가 잘하면 알아서 남들이 봐줄 거라 생각하고요. 그리고 또 한국을 대표하는 만큼 그 팬들의 마음을 가지고 열심히 하면 될 것 같습니다.
Well, I'm here to represent and play for Korea, so definitely taking a lot of pride in that, and I will try my best. I feel like there's no need to talk so much about how well I'm gonna do. I feel like if I do well, then the people are going to notice.
Thank you. We'll go next to Kwanzin. How is it to finally play an international home, but not in a Brazilian organization? And this is from Igor Oliveira from esports.gg. I think this is a error on the part of the reporter. Okay, let's move back to King then. How are your expectations up against the Brazilian team for the first time in an opening matchup of VCT lock-in, especially when they're playing in front of their home crowd?
이제 첫 번째 개막 경기가 라우드를 상대하게 됐잖아요. 라우드는 이제 홈팀이기 때문에 팬들도 굉장히 열성적으로 응원을 해줄 거라고 생각을 하는데, 이제 라우드 상대로 어떤 경기를 예상하는지 궁금합니다.
일단은 상대가 경험이 있는 만큼 저희도 그만큼 잘 해야 될 것 같고, 그리고 뭐 팬들 홈팀이니까 팬들도 응원 많이 하실 텐데, 근데 저희는 이제 그걸 조용히 시키는 데만 집중하면 될 것 같습니다.
Well, Loud, our opponents, they have a ton of LAN experience. So I guess to match that, we really have to show up big. And I am aware of the Brazilian fans being very passionate, and I'm looking forward to kind of silencing them all.
The previous question that was to Kwanzin, that was actually meant for Sadak, but we had to switch a player out. Let's go next to Shados. You come from a roster where every single teammate spoke the native language. How do you think your transition to Koi will affect the communication style and chemistry, considering you and TRX are the only Russian players?
Thank you for the question. So first of all, it's a new experience for me to talk on a new language, but I'm trying to adapt and it's going good. So I'm also study English with a teacher, and so it is good to talk on English for me in a team. So that's all.
Thank you. We'll go back to FNS. The former Optic roster has obtained a considerable amount of achievements and experience as a team in the past. With 3 core members shifting to NRG, are you excited to face Ye on the other side?
Yeah, for sure. If and when that happens, I'm definitely excited. I mean, there was never any bad blood between any of the players that were like left or whatever, and yeah, all that. So it's definitely going to be exciting to play him.
Awesome. We'll go next to King, and this is a question from Fomos. How complete do you think your team? How complete do you think your team has come in percentage, and which player on the team are you most excited for?
이제 팀워크나 팀의 완성도는 어느 정도 되냐고 보는지, 그리고 좀 가장 기대되는 선수는 누구인지 물어봅니다.
일단 저희 그 엘마 퍼디 감독님이 추구하는 게 팀워크랑 이제 소통이기 때문에 저희는 그거에 대해서 준비를 많이 해왔고 거의 뭐 100으로 치면 한 80, 85% 정도 지금 한 것 같고 그 다음에 저희 팀에서 제일 기대되는 선수는 아마 메테오 선수나 이코 선수가 잘 기대되는 것 같아요.
Well, our coach, Elma Puri, he puts a lot of emphasis on teamwork and communication. So we're working around that. And I think we're like 80 to 85% there. And as for the player that you could keep your eye on, it would be Eco and Meteor.
Thank you. We're going to move now to remote media, and we'll begin with Alan from China.
Hi, Shadows. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So yes, this is the question for Shadows. So, just like the question before, that you are in very different teams compared to before. You have very different native language. So, what is the major difference between there, like compared to your before communication system?
I can say first of all about we have different practice time. So for example, in Russia we training a lot, around 12, 13 hours. You know, in Europe it's some difficult. So for example, we train a little bit less. So it is a big difference between Europe and Russia, because in Russia we try harding a lot. Second, can you repeat the last thing in your question?
Yeah. What is the difference between your your before team and your team at present?
I don't know. I can say only one thing, that it's different mentality, and that's all. So.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go next to George from .esports.
Hi. My question is for FNS. I wanted to ask about Ardis, actually, in particular. Obviously, him coming into the team, and obviously everyone's going to anticipate that he will be the direct replacement, I guess, for Ye, pretty much, when we kind of talk about like fragging and stuff like that. In your opinion, do you believe that Ardis has the skill ceiling to actually go above Ye, or do you believe it's somewhere more of like a matching skill level?
Yeah, for sure. If I didn't think that, then we wouldn't have artists. But no, he's definitely really good. I mean, it just kind of depends on the opponents we face, our teamwork, how well we're able to set him up as well. I think a lot of Jake's success last year was a lot of ridiculous mechanical skills on his part, but we were also able to set him up really well. So we have to do our part to make sure that Artist does the same thing, if not better.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll go next to AD from VLR.
Thank you so much. This question is for King. King, of course, you are working with playing with an all-Korean roster, but with an Australian coach. I was wondering how has the process been between the players and the coaching staff in particular, especially with Elma Padi being there, and has he bring a lot of insights that you might have not think of when working with a full Korean staff and team?
일단 선수들은 다 한국인이지만 엘마프디 코치님이 또 외국인이잖아요. 코치님과 소통이나 뭐 이렇게 경기를 준비하는 데 있어서 어떻게 돼가고 있는지, 그리고 뭔가 한국인으로 다 구성된 로스터가 아닌 이렇게 외국인의 시점에서 좀 게임을 바라볼 수 있는 그런 새로운 시각도 갖게 됐는지 궁금하다고 합니다.
일단 핵심적인 대답은 일단 저희가 통역사분이 한 분이 계시고요. 그리고 뭐 고맙게도 엘마 퍼디 감독님이 저희가 알아듣기 쉽게 천천히 그 쉬운 단어들로 일단 말씀을 해주시고, 그다음에 이렇게 저도 이렇게 외국인 감독님이랑 처음 해서 이렇게 당황스럽긴 한데 그래도 또 맞는 말만 해주시니까 또 그냥 생각이 다 똑같은 것 같아요, 그냥. 네, 그래서 되게 괜찮은 것 같아요.
Well, yeah, most importantly, we have a translator on the team, so we have no problem with the comm. And Elma Puri also tries to explain things in a very slow and easy manner in English as well. And also, I think we have the same understanding and same perspective on how to view the game, read the game, understand the game. So that helps a lot.
Thank you. We'll go next to Phomos. And if you would like to ask your question in Korean, please go ahead.
Thank you. 저는 킹 선수한테 질문 드리고 싶은데요. 올해 이제 지난해 같은 경우는 체인버 오퍼레이터 조합이 이제 모든 전술의 중심에 있었는데 올해는 이제 변화를 추구하게 됐습니다. 그 변화들 전략들 중에 좀 중요하다 생각하는 부분이 뭔지 그리고 이 변화가 젠지에 긍정적으로 작용할 것이라 생각하시는지 의견을 듣고 싶습니다.
일단 체인버 오퍼레이터가 일단은 너무 OP고 그냥 말도 안 되는 수준이었던 건 사실이고요. 근데 또 원래 판치던 제트가 있으니까 뭐 딱히 이가 없으면 잇몸으로 하는 느낌으로 그냥 제트가 계속 나오지 않을까 싶네요.
Well, the question was last year was chamber operator mainly kind of earning a lot of popularity in the meta, but with the nerf on the agent, what do you think will change? And do you think that change will work against you or work well for you? And the answer was, well, Chamber last year was extremely OP to the point where he needed the nerf. And I feel like with all those nerfs coming to him, Jet, the former OP agent, will see her a lot. And yeah, I think a lot of teams are going to pull out Jet instead of Chamber.
Thank you. We'll go next to Cecilia from Esports Mag.
Hello, my question is for FNS. How do you expect these tournaments to lock in to shape the competitive year of Valorant in your region?
I mean, I don't think it'll have a massive impact as far as results go. Like, obviously, it is a different format and a little bit more of a gambly format. And of course, teams aren't able to prep and stuff like that. So in that sense, it's not the biggest deal in the world, whether you win or lose compared to the rest of the year. But I do think it's a really good start off for the year in terms of like what teams are capable of doing without any prep. And you kind of get to see a good level from every single team and you kind of get to gauge where they're going to be at the end of the year as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go next to Antonio Summer from Nerditude.
Hi, my question is for FNS. It's about artists. How did you feel that for the first time in Valorant, there are players who come from the other regions?
I mean, I think it's cool. I've personally, I can't remember if I've ever played in a team with a player that's from like a completely different region. So it's definitely a new thing for me. Obviously, he's also English speaking, so that definitely helps. But yeah, it's definitely cool. I think more teams are going to implement it as time goes on and as Valorant grows. But yeah, I think as long as it's not a massive language barrier, it usually can work.
Thank you. We'll go next to Javiera Martinez from Havamarts.
Hi, my question is for Shairos. Koi is one of the teams with the high expectations for their fans, but as you have commented, there has been a lack of time to prepare for this. What can they expect tomorrow on the stage?
Thank you for the question. So first of all, compared to other team in Europe, we training only 1 month because we have some problem with buyout of Sarso. So tomorrow we just will have fun with team manager because I played with them in 2021. So we will see and we will show a great game.
Thank you. We'll go next to Alejandro from Level Up.
Hello, everyone. My question is for Shadows as well. There is a lot of people already waiting to see you compete either in the opening match against NRG or during the EMEA League. Without thinking on what will happen tomorrow, which teams are you willing to face the most based on what you saw during the off-season?
Can you repeat the question?
Which teams are you willing to face the most based on what you saw during the offseason without thinking on what will happen tomorrow?
To be honest, I want to face with Loud, with Brazilian crowd. So I will see this pressure from Brazilian crowd, how they support their team, and we will see who is a real strong team.
Thank you. We'll go next to Juan Torres from Prensa Esports.
Yeah, thank you. My question is again for Shados. It will be Koi's first international appearance in a year where the organization had a great growth with the merger with Rogues. So with this in mind, how do you feel for the debut, and especially knowing that you could have a confrontation against Carmine Corp if everything goes well?
How I knew, it's always a battle between Koi, Carmine Corp, and Giant. So we need to show a really great game against these clubs, because it's very important for eBay and for Koi fans also. So that's all.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll go to Tim from SpikeTap.
Hey, my question is for Kwanzin from Loud. I just wanted to ask, you're a younger player. You're one of the younger players at the event, and you've actually been competing in VALORANT for like a while, doing extremely well in the challenger circuit. I just wanted to ask you if you have a lot of pressure on your shoulders now that you're, with Loud, obviously representing one of the world champions from last year, and taking on pretty much the entire field of the current best teams. Like, is there a lot of pressure, or are you taking this moment and kind of seizing it as an opportunity to shine, since you've been brought into one of the top teams in your region now and in the world?
Então, a pergunta é para saber, já que você é um jogador bem novo, apesar de ter muitos resultados assim muito bons, como que é, se você tem uma pressão nos seus ombros de carregar essa responsabilidade de estar aqui representando um time que já foi campeão mundial, como é que você está lidando com isso?
Bom, eu por ser o jogador mais novo e ter entrado agora num time que acabou de ser campeão mundial, me dá assim uma pressão grande, só que eu tenho aprendido bastante com os companheiros de time e os coaches também. Então, eles estão me ensinando bastante coisa sobre o jogo, e eu não quero só estar num time que acabou de ser campeão mundial, como eu também quero ser um campeão mundial.
So he does understand that like people look at him like being young and that there should be a lot of pressure, but for him, he takes it in a different way. He's like learns a lot with all the teammates, and he doesn't want to just be labeled as someone that is representing our organization that was already a champion, but he wants himself to become that. So he's learning a lot with the teammates, with the coach especially, so he believes that he can do that.
Thank you. And this will be the last question from remote media before we move to the in-house media. Javiera from Havomarts. Oh, I think she just left her hand up. We will now move to the in-house media. Would anyone like to go first from the Brazilian media? Go ahead.
So hi, David from Popline here. My question is actually for everyone very quickly, if you guys can answer. If you guys could pick like one team to play against in the final, which team would be it?
Go ahead.
결승전에서 경기를 할 수 있게 된다면 가장 만나고 싶은 팀이 누구인가요?
DRX.
DRX.
Vanessa, we'll go to you next.
100 Thieves.
Kwanzin?
A pergunta foi se você tivesse como escolher um time para você enfrentar, quem que você queria enfrentar?
Sentinels.
And Shedas?
Loud, like I said before.
Thank you so much. Go ahead.
My name is Lucas from Sports.net Brazil. My question is for Carlzinho. Can I speak in Portuguese?
Go ahead.
Carlzinho, a gente sabe que deve ter muita pressão externa por você estar na Loud, campeão mundial, essas coisas assim. Queria saber assim, de você, o que você espera da atuação da Loud nessa estreia e se você acha que a gente pode ver algum tipo de novidade no estilo que a Loud jogava anteriormente com a entrada de você.
Bom, acho que mudar o estilo de jogo da Loud antiga com a entrada minha, acho que não é algo que pode acontecer, mas sim, a gente está testando composições novas e, bom, eu que tive que me adaptar ao estilo de jogo da Loud e, bom, acho que é isso, acho que a gente entrou no lock-in com expectativa de aprender e de ganhar bastante experiência com o time e evoluir gradativamente durante os campeonatos da franquia.
Are there any more questions go ahead.
Hello, my name is Isadora. I'm from Tech Tudo. My question is for Kawanzin. Can I speak for?
Yeah, go ahead.
Eu queria entender um pouco da sua sensação de, primeiro, estar no time campeão, no time a ser batido e ver um campeonato desse tamanho no Brasil, assim. O que se passa dentro da cabeça, assim, nesse momento?
A pressão é grande, mas justamente, como eu falei na pergunta anterior, a gente tá aqui para aprender, principalmente eu e Twist, que são os garotos novos. Então a gente tá aqui para ganhar experiência e também a gente evoluir no campeonato, igual a pergunta anterior.
Eu perguntei sobre a sensação de ver um campeonato desse tamanho no Brasil.
Ah, sim. Na verdade é um campeonato teste da Riot e, bom, é um campeonato muito grande, a gente vai jogar contra todos os times da franquia. Então, basicamente, não vou jogar só contra os times da América. Então, por exemplo, agora no nosso primeiro jogo, eu vou jogar contra a Genji, e é uma experiência muito boa.
Go ahead.
Hi, my question is for FNS, and I'm Ariela from VALORANT Zone, and you have a past with the Brazilians, and now in VALORANT, do you believe you can write a new story with the Brazil?
Like the fans?
In general.
Yeah, I'd hope so. I mean, yeah, I think with Valorant specifically, and especially everything that happened last year, it's definitely cool to have a rivalry with a Brazilian team. But even going forward, I think it'll be fun for sure. I don't really know. It kind of depends on them more than me. I love all my fans and all my haters too, so it doesn't really make a difference to me, but I definitely love this country. I think ever since we've stepped foot here, everyone's been super friendly, not just to me, but to my team, and I'm grateful for that.
Hi, I'm Pedro from Global. My question is also for FNS, kind of the same subject, actually. Last year, you had a big rivalry with Loud, and some Brazilian fans in social media mocked you, saying that you're a great IGL, but had a bad aim, whiffle sometimes. What do you say to them?
To keep talking, I like it.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Raquel from VALORANT Zone. My question is for FNS. Evan, if you are no longer part of Optic, do you believe that a new rivalry between Loud and NRG can arise by continuing with 3 players from the old team?
For sure. It honestly depends on the format. It depends on like if we end up in groups versus them, because last year we definitely were in many groups with them and we had a lot of chances to play against each other. I think that's why the rivalry formed to where it got to at the end of the year. So if the same thing happens, then yeah, it's possible for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more questions from the in-house media? Thank you, players. This will conclude the press conference. We'll return with the next round right after this. Scream, and Anthem. We will begin with some pre-submitted questions, and then we will move on to the remote media. Scream, how would you rate your roster stacking up against the rest of the competition, especially after the roster changes this offseason? And this question is from Ashir Ahmed from the Spike.gg.
Hello, Sheikh Ahmed. Well, I mean, I can't say much right now. I think we get a show on the server what we're capable of, and
Okay, if you want to.
I think it's gonna be a good surprise. Hopefully, if we do like in scrims, but I'm pretty confident people are gonna be surprised by our roster.
Thank you. We'll go next to Berlin. I'd just like to know what the reaction was when you learned that FPX would be one of the teams from China invited to lock-in. This question is from Brandon Moore at esports.gg.
这个问题想问一下 Berlin 选手，当你第一次知道你们将参加这个 lock-in 赛事的时候，你们 FPX 将参加这个 lock-in 赛事的时候，你有什么样的反应？
我个人的反应是非常惊喜的，也非常觉得非常幸运，倍感荣誉，就是能够被受邀至那么大的舞台。然后我们虽然是在很后面的时间才知道的，所以有点猝不及防。然后我们全队都非常开心，我们会好好参加这次赛事。
So definitely, I feel so honored that we can be participate in such a big tournament, and I definitely think we're very lucky as well. And because this is a very huge international tournament, but we got the message that we are able to participate in this very lately. So maybe we, for our emotions and for our reactions, maybe a bit rushed, we think, but still we are very happy and honored and excited to be here to participate in this tournament.
And this will be the last pre-submitted question. Scream, this one's also coming to you. It's from India, from Kushal Batach from Sportskita. Starting off the 2023 season with lock-in, which NA team are you most excited to play?
Which LA team?
North America.
Yeah. Good question, man. I don't know. I think Cloud9 seems pretty strong. But beside Cloud9, I don't feel like NA is in a good place right now. I don't know. We have to see. We didn't see much, so but probably Cloud9.
Awesome. We will move now to the remote media. Alan, we'll go with you first.
Hello, 柏林 ，Hello。Hello， 我看到你们其实包括刚才前面 Nathan 过来还是有点紧张的。你们在准备，就是从你们到了巴西之后，然后到现在这段时间里面有经历过一些什么比较有趣的事情吗？
比较有趣的事情可能没有，因为这几天都非常紧凑在训练，然后还有安排一些像这种采访，然后拍摄一些内容，所以比较少有什么特别有趣的事情发生。但是
那你们在整个训练的过程当中，有感觉到有一些哪些东西有一些让你们觉得比较意外或者有点学习到的内容吗？
在过去的训练赛，对手的打法风格上和现在的训练赛相差的非常多，然后这边的训练赛也非常的更加的团队意识，然后细节什么的做得非常好，然后我们学到了很多，这我觉得蛮意外的，就是如此大的差别。这样。
好的，谢谢。
谢谢。
So this question is over to Berlin. You have mentioned maybe during the preparations is a bit nervous. So could you share more about the interesting episode you have faced during the practice and before the tournament? And his answer was, to be honest, after we came here, we just focused on our own practice, and also we have some extra interviews and also the filmings. So to be honest, we don't have much interesting episode that I would like to share to you. But and the following up question was, so maybe is there anything happened beyond your expectation? Berlin's answer was, I feels like the mainly difference is between the play styles, our opponents' play styles, because I feels like right now our opponents, they have a very good teamwork, and also they focus more on the in-game details. So for this part is a bit beyond our expectations, and we can really learn a lot from this very huge international tournament.
Thank you. The next question we'll take is from GameSpark Okano, and if it's for Anthem, feel free to ask in Japanese.
はい。ゲームスパークの岡野です。アンセム選手に伺います。チームが結成してからの時間を通じて、現在のチームの仕上がりを自身でどのように評価していますでしょうか。また、日本から2チームしか出場しない中で1チームとして、どのようなプレッシャーなどを感じていますか、教えてください。
そうですね。その自分、ここにブラジルに来てから、何戦かスクリームとか、現地のチームとかとやらせていただいたんですけど、その感触的には、なんだろうな、結構トーナメントで結構いい位置づけに入れるんじゃないかなっていうのを実感しています。あと、何でしたっけ、質問。
日本チームとして出場することへのプレッシャーなどですね。
プレッシャー。もちろんその日本から2チームっていうことで、結構プレッシャーは感じてますけど、そういう、なんだろうな、チームとしてのプレッシャーもありつつ、みんなはトーナメントを結構楽しみにしてて、すごくあまり今は緊張感がないというか、めちゃみんなワクワクしながら練習したり、楽しんでます。
So the first question to Anthem is, since the DFM, it hasn't been too long since the formation of the team. How do you feel about the team team growth right now? And the second question is, how do you feel about representing the Japan team, becoming one of the two teams representing Japan? Anthem's answer to first question is, since coming to Brazil, we have been scrimming with the local teams here. And from that, we feel pretty good about towards the tournament. And to represent the one of two Japanese teams here, we do feel the pressure, but more than the nervousness, we are feeling excited to be participating in the tournament right now.
Thank you. We'll next go to Ren Kurita from Esports World, and feel free to ask your question in Japanese if it's to Anthem.
e スポーツワールドの栗田です。アンセム選手に質問なんですけど、ロックインで個人的に対戦を楽しみにしている選手とその理由を教えていただきたいです。
選手、そうですね。僕として個人的な、好きな選手なんですけど、クライオ選手とは試合をやってみたいなと思います。そのためには、反対のグループなので決勝まで行って最後まで残らないと多分当たらないと思うんで、頑張って勝ちたいと思ってます。
ありがとうございます。
The question for Anthem is, which player are you most excited to play against and why? The answer is, personally, I feel very excited to be playing against Cryo. But since they're on the opposite bracket, to face against them, we would have to go win the tournament until the finals. So we'll do our best.
Thank you. We'll go next to Gentes en Linea, Renato Roldan.
Hi. Well, this question is for Scream. Hi, Scream. You were obviously with your bro Nivera. Hello. You were obviously with your bro Nivera also in Liquid, and now you are both in Carmine Corp. Do you believe that you both can perform better having each other on the team? And also, what do you think is the most dangerous of this duo for the other teams?
I think our time in Liquid was a good experience for us. First time in the team together. We learned a lot together. You know, he's still young and he still had to learn a lot of stuff. And I think coming into this team, everything is different. I took the IGL role very seriously, and my brother has been stepping up so much last month. So I'm very confident that we're going to be a big problem for people.
Thank you. We'll go next to Adarsh from Sportskita.
Hey, my question is to Scream. So how different is your role as the IGL and Carmine Corp when compared to Team Liquid, especially since you have 5 French-speaking players in your team?
Yeah, well, I think the language barrier has makes a big difference in our preparation and in our communication in general. Liquid was a bit more like a chaotic gameplay, more like comfortable picks on agents. Right now we are more heavily heading to like a more tactical gameplay, and yeah, it's been a good preparation so far, like last 2.5 months, and I can't wait to show people like what we build.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. We'll next go to Zhao Ma from People's Esports.
This question is for Berlin. 柏林你好，我是人民电信记者马笑。我想问一下，在线下训练赛之后，你们战队对这次比赛成绩预期是怎么样的？然后你有什么战队想特别面对的？谢谢。
我对我们战队的成绩预期，我觉得因为我们第一次来参加这种线下大型赛事，所以也没有打过各个其他地方的选手。我并不会说太高，所以我想说赢个3-4场，我们到个4强或是冠亚尝试看看，不知道我们会走一步是一步，然后见我们所的。对，不好意思，你刚才第二个问题是什么？
就是除了你们第一轮的对手之后的对手，你还想面对哪支战队？
如果能的话，我们或许我自己的话，或许会想打看看 C9，对，或是100T，他们现在觉得他们实力特别强悍，所以想挑战看看。谢谢。
So this question is over to Berlin. This is your first tournament to play in the studio. So what's your expectation toward this tournament? And also, except for the first opponents you're going to face, are there any specific teams that you would like to face against? And his answer was, definitely this is our first time to participate in such a huge tournament, and also the first time for us to play in the studio. And also previously we haven't faced any teams from other regions. So for our goals, I will not set a very high goal, but I will try my best to get into the semifinals or even the finals. But we would like to reach our goal step by step, match by match. And also, except for the team we're going to face, we also want to challenge Cloud9 or 100 Thieves, because two of them are very strong teams. So we would like to challenge them in the future if possible.
Thank you. We'll next go to Adi Adian from VLR.
Thank you so much. This question is for Berlin. Not many people knew that before your stint on Zuhue and FPX, you and Yui Kao, of course, played for KPC and CBT Gaming in Hong Kong Taiwan Challengers. What was the decision? What was the catalyst of you changing regions from Hong Kong and Taiwan towards Zuhue and eventually FPX? Were your results in challengers before you joined Zuhue reflects how your decision would be joining FPX?
这个问题要问一下柏林选手。其实很多人好像对你之前的经历不太了解。那其实你也是现在才加入到就是FunPlus 的嘛，所以说是什么样的因素促使着你，然后呢想要来到这个队伍呢？
谢谢你这个问题。如果能到一个更强大的队伍，那肯定是就是你会往那个更强大的队伍去。对，这种没有什么特别的其他的想法。
I don't have much thought. I just would like to approach to the stronger team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go back to Juan Torres from Prensa Esports.
Yeah, thank you. My question is for Rhyme. So as a captain, how is the preparation for a tournament as demanding as this one, where there are so many new things from teammates, rival teams, and even a very different meta?
Hello. I don't think you can prepare too much because you don't have any data on the other teams. And I think you just have to prepare for yourself and your team. So I think a lot of other teams have the same approach. You just have to prepare your own game and probably adapt a little bit in game to whatever you're facing.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll go next to Alan from China.
Hi, Ryan. So it's a question for you, Ryan.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. So compared to like the people who sit right next to you to Scream, you have a very different team, which have five players from 5 different regions. So and I just saw your team's vlog, like talking about your language, something like communication and something else. Do you think that coming from different countries that have something, you know, making your gameplays or something comes more difficult?
I mean, considering we're from different countries in Europe, no, I don't think so. We all learned English in school and we all speak English every day. So communication is not a problem. I think everyone speaks equally good English. And I think it's so far not been a single problem with it. It might be a little bit weird in the start for some people because we obviously have accents depending on where you're from. But other than that, no, it's never been a problem communicating.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Antonio from Nerditude.
Hi, thank you. My question is for Giants. What does it feel like to go from being a team of regional stature to being invited to an international event, having a roster with such well-known names in the scene?
I mean, right now that I have to speak for organization itself, I'm sure they're super happy to be a part of VCT, like everyone else. Going from regional leagues to VCT is a huge step for any org, right? And speaking for them, I'm pretty sure they're super happy about it.
Thank you.
And then we'll go to Dongyan Oh. I do have to flag that we don't have a Korean translator, so if you can ask in English. Oh, we do have one. Yes. Go ahead, Dongyan.
Yeah, I can speak English. Yeah, so I want to ask Scream that I noticed that last year in the championship you picked Phoenix many times. That's not very usual. What's your understanding of this agent, and will you pick the Phoenix in this tournament again?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think I'm gonna pick it on every map again. He's the best agent in game, and yeah, I'm gonna surprise people again.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
good for touch.
Yeah, this splash and shoot some matchups.
Thanks. We'll next go to you from Esports World.
e スポーツワードの井ノ川です。アンセム選手に質問があります。今回のロックインは BO1 ということなんですけれども、BO1 について特に気をつけてることとか、意識してることってありますか？
そうですね。まあ、一回負けたら、すごくっていう、なんだろう、厳しいルールのもと行われるトーナメント形式なんで、まあ、気が抜けないっていうのが第一個と、まあ、なんだろうな。まあ、そのミスが許されないっていうのが一番ですかね。はい。
ありがとうございます。
So this question is for Anthem. I understand that the lock-in is a BO1 tournament. What are you? How are you approaching this? And Anthem's answer is because we can only lose one time and you have to go home. So we take each match very carefully and try to eliminate as much mistake as possible.
Thank you. We'll now offer any questions from the in-house media. Are there any?
My name is Raquel from VALORANT Zone. My question is for Screen, but I'm asking to you in French, okay? Quels sont tes attentes pour le tournoi, car c'est le début de la nouvelle équipe pour les VCT? Et j'ai une autre question aussi, mais tu peux répondre ça et après j'ai...
Oh, j'aime bien ton accent en tout cas. Très bon
Merci.
accent. Alors, pour cet événement, should I answer in English or French?
Tu peux répondre
Français?
comme tu veux.
Okay. So, ouais, pour cet événement, on n'a pas forcément de... Voilà, c'est le premier événement de l'année. Je pense que c'est un format qui est très difficile. on n'a pas le droit à l'erreur. Du coup, on va essayer de prendre un maximum d'expérience à cet événement. Mais bien évidemment, on est venu pour gagner. On est venu pour gagner et la suite, c'est d'être champion d'ici les prochains mois et de montrer qu'on peut dominer la scène.
Ok, merci. Et l'autre question, c'est pour un tournoi tier 1 sur Valorant, est-ce que tu ressens les mêmes sensations que sur CSGO?
C'est un nouveau jeu, mais c'est un jeu très différent et je pense qu'il y a beaucoup de compétition sur Valorant. C'est pour ça qu'il n'y a pas encore de domination au niveau des équipes. Il n'y a pas encore une équipe qui a dominé la scène, donc je pense que la scène est très très compétitive.
Ok, merci.
Merci.
Are there any other questions? Thank you. This will wrap the press conference. Thank you so much for participating.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. We are joined by Benkai, Stacks, Suhonj, and Ye. We will begin with some pre-submitted questions, and then we will move into the remote media questions. Let's start with Ye. It's a question for Ashir Ahmed from the Spike.gg. How do you think your arrival into the lineup has affected the roles of other members, and how effective or painstaking has the transition been?
I wouldn't say it's been very painstaking because I feel like the majority of people on our team are pretty flexible. So I think it's been a fine transition. Obviously, there's been a little bit of downtime in which like we're trying to figure out a few different things, but we've had like a decent amount of time. I think it'll be fine.
Thanks. This next question is to Stacks. How complete do you think your team has come in terms of percentage, and which players on the team are you most excited for?
스택 선수 일단 현재 팀의 완성도를 퍼센테지로 나타내면 어느 정도 되는지, 그리고 이번 대회에서 가장 기대해 볼 만한 선수는 누구인지 DRX 안에서 뽑아주세요.
일단은 저희 완성도는 50%라고 생각을 하고, 이제 저희 팀에서 가장 기대되는 선수는 아마도 저는 RB 선수라고 생각해요.
I would say about 50% and RB.
Thank you. And we'll do one more pre-submitted question for Ye. This is also from Adarsh from Sportskeeda. Are you excited to face 3 of your ex-teammates in the playoffs here at VCT Lock-in?
Well, let's take this one step at a time here. We still have like at least like 2 or 3, maybe even 4 games before we play them. So we'll see.
All right, and just one more for Ye. How do you feel about your playstyle in VCT Lock-in now that Chamber is no longer at the top of the Valorant meta?
Kind of happy about it, just because I've been playing Chamber for a year, 14 hours a day. So it's kind of nice to have some variety now.
All right, we'll now move to the remote media. Please use the Zoom hand raise function if you'd like to ask a question. Would anyone like to go first? I think we'll go to Alan from China.
Hi, Benkai.
Hello.
Hello.
I remember you, Alan. Hello.
Yeah. Why not? There are some sandwiches or something. Nothing.
Okay, for context, the last time I was in a press conference, I made sandwiches for everyone. But
yeah,
I'm a bit scared to go out here, so I didn't really get ingredients for a sandwich.
Okay. So I have one maybe quite difficult question for you to answer. So it is very lucky that you and Stacks is here. So you both represent maybe the most powerful teams in APAC right now. So a lot of teams, like from what I'm hearing, more teams are targeting DRX more than PaperX as their imagination enemy in this region. Yeah, something like that. What do you think about that? Like, do you feel more like relaxed about that because most people will target will make DRX as their target, or you will feel like no, we deserve as the APAC #1 target? Yeah.
I think it's great, man. I feel like we've been horrible in scrims. We're not really in the best shape right now. So, less attention. The more attention taken off of us, the better. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Alan, did you want to ask that to Stacks as well? And if so, can you repeat?
Yeah, of course. If the translator can translate that for me. Yeah. Should I repeat the question?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So my question is also for Stacks, because both DRX and PaperX are the most, best performed teams in APAC region. And from what I'm hearing, more people put DRX as the #1 target or the highest performance team in this region. So I don't know how Stacks is feeling about that. Yeah.
저는 솔직하게 그냥 저희를 타겟으로 생각을 했지만 아마도 이제 PRX를 조금 이제 상대하기 좀 껄끄러우니까 일부러 피해서 그렇게 선택을 한 것 같아요.
Well, yeah, I do see why a lot of people put us as the target, but I feel like they're playing mind games of some sort. And I think CRX is still a very strong team to go up against.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. We'll go next to Nadine from .esports.
Hello, my question is for Stacks. 안녕하세요. My question is, so we heard from King on Genji that he thinks that Jet will come back into the meta after this chamber nerf. So my question for you is if you agree with that and if your team is going to be playing Jet compositions.
저는 솔직하게 지금 제트도 좋다라고 생각은 하지만 체인버만큼의 조금 파워를 좀 못 냈다고 생각해서 이제는 좀 제트가 없는 시대도 오지 않을까라는 저는 생각을 해요.
Well, to be honest with you, I do agree that Jet is a good agent, but I don't see Jet being as explosive as Chamber used to be. So I think there's a world where we see less and less of Jet and see other agents kind of step up.
Thank you. We'll next go to 80 from VLR.
Thank you so much. This question is for Sony, BBL. You are the newest member to BBL, along with the replacement, of course, for Elite. How have you adapted to the team so far with 1 month of preparation, and how has the rest of the team, being an all-Turkish team and experiencing fully inter-regional competition for the first time here in Lock-in?
I think when I first came to the team, I was so shy, but we had boot camp in Istanbul and we bonded very well. We're now brothers. My adaptation was really easy for me. So the guys helped me a lot and it's going really well now. So it's all good.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. We will now go to Juan Torres from Prensa Esports.
Yes, thank you. My question is for Jay. I don't know if you knew it, but here in Latin America, we know you as El Diablo, which means the devil because of your insane way of playing. So how do you feel with it?
It's kind of nice, I guess. I think it's a really cool nickname, and thank you, I guess. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and may I make a second question for Stacks?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, Stacks, it might have started as a normal celebration, but now the Vamos, it's the tournament slogan, it's pretty in official branding, and basically it's immortalized in the Valorant scene. So how does that make you feel?
일단은 이렇게까지 커질 줄 몰랐고 하필 또 스프레이가 나와가지고 좀 깜짝 놀라서 이번 대회에서는 다보스를 많이 안 쓰려고 했는데 다시 써야 될 것 같기도 해요.
Well, I didn't expect it to go this big. And then there was this whole Valorant spray that came out, the famous thing. I wasn't really going to do it a lot, but I feel like now I really have to.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Let's go to Fomos next.
Thank you. 안녕하세요. 스택스 선수께 질문 드리겠습니다. 첫 상대가 바로 옆에 계신데 그 BBL e스포츠에 대해서 좀 어떻게 분석하셨고 좀 강하고 좀 경계되는 부분이나 아니면 경계되는 선수가 있다면 좀 소개 좀 부탁드리겠습니다.
일단은 저희가 지금 BBL에 대해서 아는 거는 전혀 없고 저희가 예전에 한번 브리즈를 조금 못할 때가 있었는데 그때 저희가 BBL을 보고 진짜 엄청 많이 참고를 많이 했었고요. 그때 진짜 진짜 에임이나 이런 거 센스가 너무 좋다라고 느꼈고 지금도 아마 동일할 것 같아요.
Well, the question was, well, Stacks, you're sitting right next to your opponent, VBL. So what have you made of them as your opponents? And what do you think would be a challenge facing them in the first game? And Stacks' answer was, well, we don't know a lot about BBL at the moment, but I remember when we wanted to make our breeze stronger, we studied a lot of BBL's breeze and thought that they had really good aims and high sense of a really good sense of game as well. And yeah, I think they're going to be a strong competitor.
Thanks. We'll go next to George from .esports.
Hi, everyone. My question will be for Ye.
I wanted to ask, obviously coming into Cloud9, you've been with them for some time, obviously now practicing for a few months. I wanted to ask you, how would you compare the in-game leading style of Vanity compared to FNS? Obviously, you were very successful with Optic Gaming. So what would you say are the major differences between the two styles?
It's kind of hard to compare the two because like it's just different kind of styles. There's not necessarily one that's like stronger or like worse than another. And plus, I think you also need to kind of factor in like usually the IGL and coach are like a combination. So they have like direct influences like on each other and like how stuff is made, and that sort of thing. But if I had to compare, I would say probably FNS's style is a little bit more structured in the sense of like everything is very like methodical, things are very like planned out, while Vanity is a little bit more loose and there's a lot more creativity and like more like, I don't want to say like gimmicky kind of stuff, but more variety and like the stuff that we do.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Alan from China.
Yeah. So hi, Benghai again. Yeah. So I remember that during last year, during 2022, I think after the champions, you have something like I don't know, a video or essay that talking about your team is not performing up to the level that you expected during champions, right? And it feels like maybe I could describe it as a meltdown. So or tilted, I don't know. So what do you think that really happened last year that makes your team that didn't perform good enough during champions, and how that you and your team making some changes during off season to prevent that happening again? Yeah.
I think it's mainly just how we managed our expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we got second at Copenhagen, right? So everybody else was after that, everyone was kind of expecting us to do better in champions. And I feel like we let that pressure get to us, and we just treated it as a learning experience. So we learned how to manage our expectations and go back to the mentality that we had in Iceland and Copenhagen. So we're trying to bring that into this event now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. We'll go next to Juan Torres from Prensa Esports. Juan, if you can unmute your mic. All right, we'll go on to Antonio Summer from Nerditude.
Hi, thank you. My question is for Benkai. PaperX is a team that proposes many new things that no one else thinks about. How does it feel to be the EGL of a team with such complex compositions?
I don't think it's as complex as everyone thinks it is. It's normally just I'm just trying to manage like 4 other clowns and their dumb ideas. So I'm just trying to piece them together and just try and make it work. And whenever they come to me with new ideas, I just try to, instead of dismissing it and saying it's a dumb idea, I'll try my best to make it work. And when it does, it looks amazing on stage. But when it doesn't, we just look like a bunch of like dumb people. So it's very 50-50 with the way that we play.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we'll now go to the in-house media. Are there any questions that we'd like to ask? Okay, 1 second.
Hey, my name is Raquel from VALORANT Zone. My question is for Benkai. You called the attention of the Brazilian public during the Champions League for your costumes. And what are you preparing for looking?
I mean, I'll never tell anyone, so you just need to wait and see until I actually do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the in-house media? One more, it looks like.
Hi, I'm Pedro from My Sports. This question for you. You had an amazing year in 2022 with Optic, and you probably received a lot of offers for the 2023 season. Why did you decide to sign with Cloud9 in the end?
There was a bunch of different reasons, to be honest with you, like some being salary, some being just the members that I'd be playing with. But in reality, Cloud9 was probably my best option, given like the behind the scenes kind of stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more from the in-house media? Okay, thank you guys. This will conclude the press conference, and we will be back with our final one after this. Hello, everyone. We are joined by, hold on, let me pull up my list. We have Mixwell, Ethan, Mures, and Cruz. We'll begin with some pre-submitted questions and then move on to remote media and then the in-house media. Let's start with Ethan. Ethan, this is a question from Ashir Ahmed from the Spike.gg. You have one of the largest rosters in the scene with several people on the bench. What are the main reasons behind this decision? Did it also lie in having a relatively unchanged roster from last season?
Yeah, I mean, they're mostly, we haven't finalized the roster yet, at least for the other 5, but they're mainly used for like in-house stuff. If we want to practice certain stuff, we don't have to do it against another team, another competitor. We can use the other 5 and do that, but that's the main reason.
Thank you. Cruz, this is a question from Ashir from the Spike. Is there a potential timeline for the return of Patafan to the team, and how crucial is his absence going to be to the team's performance at the event?
I'm not really sure about the exact time, but he should be ready by the regular season. He should be back for the season in Korea. But did it affect our performances? Will it affect our performance here? Definitely, because he was in the scrim like in most of the maps for the past month, and then he had to go do his surgery. So we had to make changes. So we only have like a month to prep into Brazil. So it definitely affected our in-game play.
Awesome. We'll now move to the remote media. If you'd like to ask a question, please use the Zoom hand raise function and we'll call on you. Would anyone like to go first? Let's start with Adi Idon from VLR.
Thank you. This question is primarily for Muris. Muris, you are now in a team with a lot of history, with players with quite the caliber, especially within the Brazilian scene. Now working with a champions winning coach in VZK, how has the atmosphere within the team and how has the team gelled together, especially leading up to lock-in?
Well, we are very confident in our work. BZK has brought us a very nice work ethic from Loud and a very nice way to understand the game, a different way from the one we had in VivoKid. So we've been learning with him. We've been working together and having a lot of fun. So plus the very high calibers that is said, like in our team. So we're just having fun. We're practicing a lot, working, and we're confident that we're gonna do a great game. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to Javier Martinez from Javo Marta. We can't hear you. I'm not sure if you're speaking. We'll come back to you as you sort out your microphone issues. We'll go to Juan Torres from Prensa Esports.
¿Qué tal? Mi pregunta es para Mixwell. ¿Está bien? Bueno, well, my question is for Mixwell. It's okay if I make it in Spanish.
Sí.
Ok, vale. Super. Mixwell, habías compartido que el llegar a Heretics era como un poco tu último equipo. Entonces el lock-in, por así decirlo, sería como el inicio del fin para tu carrera, si es que es así. ¿Lo sientes así y cómo pues lo encaras con eso en mente?
Sí, es así. Este va a ser mi último equipo, ya lo he dicho varias veces, y lo voy a disfrutar mucho, es a vida o muerte, pero estoy tranquilo. Y nada, yo creo que lo voy a enfocar más a disfrutar en la última etapa de mi carrera y poco más, con la presión necesaria, pero sin sufrir, disfrutando.
Super, muchas gracias. Mucha suerte.
Gracias.
Thank you. We'll go to Alan from China.
Yeah, so this is a question for Ethan. Hi, Ethan. So you are one of the top players that transit from CSGO scene to VALORANT scene. So from your viewpoint at the present time, what is the major difference between these two games and maybe especially the pro scene between these two games? Thank you.
Just from watching matches and stuff for the last couple of tournaments for both games, I think CS is still a little more thought out. It's obviously been a game for a longer time. But right now in Valorant, there's a lot of new stuff always kind of being added and being tested out. New maps, new agents, new abilities. CS, not much changes really. So you can establish metas easier in that game because you have more time. In this game, things change right before tournaments, so it's a little more on the fly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We'll next go to Antonio from Nerditude.
Thank you. Can I ask my question in Spanish? It's
Sí.
for Mixwell. Muchas gracias, Mixwell. Heretics es tu último equipo, según lo que dijiste. ¿Ves a Heretics lo suficientemente fuerte como para retirarte en la cima?
Es una pregunta difícil de contestar. Creo que actualmente tenemos mucho que mejorar, pero creo que a largo plazo sí que puedo hacerlo. De todas formas, nunca iría a un torneo sin pensar que puedo ganarlo y confío en que podemos ganar este también.
Muchas gracias. Saludos desde Guatemala.
Gracias, un saludo.
Javier, do you want to try your mic one more time?
Yes, hola, quiero hacerle mi pregunta a Mixwell. Primero quería darle la bienvenida a Sudamérica. Le tenemos mucho cariño por aquí y sobre todo en Chile. Y quería hacerle la pregunta de que muchos no están conformes con lo que vieron en los torneos de pretemporada. ¿Qué cambió en el equipo después de Manchester? ¿Y cómo se prepararon con este evento en comparación con lo anterior?
Muchas gracias por la bienvenida y sobre todo nos hemos preparado mentalmente con el Performance Coach porque creo que es una de nuestras debilidades más grandes, creo que en Manchester se vio. Y como equipo llegamos mucho mejor de mentalidad y de fuerza mental, que es lo que creo que nos faltaba. Así que Heretics llega mucho más fuerte ahora que en Manchester.
Muchas gracias, éxitos.
Gracias.
We'll go to Renato from Agentes en Lineo.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Mi pregunta también va para este Mix, gran fan aquí Mix. Me gustaría preguntar sobre todo cómo está la dinámica, la química del equipo. En los vlogs que has estado realizando hemos visto altas y también medio bajas. ¿Crees que llegan preparados para este torneo? ¿Crees que están en la misma página todos? ¿Cómo ves al equipo en ese sentido?
Bueno, nos gusta compartir en los blogs lo que pasa dentro del equipo hasta cierto punto. Creo que el contenido que suelen hacer los equipos suele estar muy maquillado y no se ve realmente cómo trabaja un equipo desde dentro. Hemos intentado ser más transparentes y habéis visto algo que probablemente pase en otros equipos también, pero que no lo veis nunca. Y creo que llegamos mejor que antes, como he dicho. Tenemos jugadores con mucha personalidad. Entonces, a veces pasan estas cosas porque todo el mundo quiere ganar y es muy competitivo. Y yo lo veo algo normal. Llevo mucho tiempo jugando y no hace falta tampoco ser perfecto como para ganar un torneo.
Gracias, padre.
Gracias.
Thank you. We'll go next to Alan from China.
Yeah, it's also the question that goes to Mixwell. Hi, Mixwell.
Hello.
Hello. You are in Team Heretics now, but you have I think three teammates that is former G2. That if it includes you, there are four former G2 person.
Yeah.
So what is the major difference that between this team and your former team, which is G2? Yeah.
I feel like the pressure is less than in G2. G2 as an organization is always searching to be at the top in the present time. They always want to be the best at any moment. So there's not much time for failure. There's, I would say, double the pressure that we have now. And in Heretics, it's a long-term plan with the same mindset, winning, but not in the short term. That's the main difference.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to George. George, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm chilling. I have a question for Ethan. I have two questions actually. The second one will be pretty short, so I won't take up too much of your time. The first one will be: do we know which 5 players are going to be starting for Evil Geniuses? And the second question was from me and BCJ. Actually, we both wanted to know who is your favorite player on the team.
Yep. For the first question, it's me, Calm, BCJ, Giacomo, and Bustio. And for the second question, my favorite on that team. Honestly, I get along with everybody pretty well. Everyone kind of clicks.
Thank you. Let's go to Eddie Adion from VLR.
Thank you. This question is for Cruz. I have 2 questions. None of it hopefully is too long. First question is, Talon have participated in off-season events, especially the one in Korea, the Gwangju Esports Series. Have the team learned anything from your experience then towards your adaptation in lock-in? And the second question is, with your original 6-man team, including Paripan, was there any plans for a sub role, or are all 6 players going to be seeing playing time for the regular season?
So for the first question, from Gwangju, we had a lot of experience for the 2 new members, and it was really great to know their flaws and our flaws as a team. So we had to try to build on that and try to fix all that before this happens. So it's a good tournament to come before this, even with having Patty not being able to participate here. So I'd say it's good that we're gonna get them more time on stage and in a LAN event where there's stakes on it. For the second question, I lost you. Could you?
Can you repeat it?
Sorry, I'm sorry. So of course you have 6 players, of course, in Talon, including Pari, who is not present. For the regular season, is there going to be a sub role, like a starting 5, or are all 6 players going to have significant playing time for the regular season?
So from the scrims we had when Patty was in the team and he wasn't out yet, we were gonna do a 6-man roster. We didn't have a plan for dropping anyone out because I think everyone has their own usage in the team. They have very high potential to be one of the greatest players, but the unfortunate events of Patty doing surgery kind of like messed that up a bit. But I don't think we will stick with a 5-man roster. I don't think so.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks. We'll go next to Juan Torres from Prensa Esports.
Yeah, thank you. My question is for MAIBR. A few months ago, there was another international event of a shooting game in Brazil. One of the best scenes was Furia against Navi, and the people rocking Rio de Janeiro to support them at a level that even made me chills just watching it. So you will be in home again. Well, you will be in home as Furia was. So what you're expecting to the crowd cheering you in Locking?
I know that there are gonna be a lot of people here, mainly for the Brazilian games. I hope every match has a lot of crowd. But I think it's just gonna be really fun. It's gonna be like I know there are gonna be a lot of people cheering, crowding, and it's gonna be a hell of an event. So yeah, I'm really hyped for it.
Thank you.
And we'll go to VLR as our last remote question. 80?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I forgot to lower my hand.
Oh, it's okay. We'll now go to the in-house Brazilian media. Are there any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Wesley Pereira from The Clutch. My question is for Maurice in Portuguese. Maurício, essa vai ser a segunda vez que você, o RGL e o HIT vão jogar aqui no Ibirapuera, só que dessa vez num evento de maior prestígio como o Lock-in. Queria que você comentasse um pouco como que foi a preparação do MIBR em relação a esse torneio e como que o time pode se preparar bem para poder enfrentar a Talon.
Bom, é muito bom poder jogar aqui no Ibira de novo. A gente teve uma experiência muito boa ano passado, apesar de ter perdido. A nossa preparação vem bem pesada desde o finalzinho do ano passado, passando também pelo campeonato no Chile que a gente jogou, trouxe bastante experiência e, assim como o Cruz falou, ajudou bastante a gente a entender como a gente poderia ajudar melhor o JZZ e o RGL, que são players mais novos. Então, a gente vem treinando bem pesado, melhoramos bastante coisas depois desse campeonato do Chile, conseguimos aprender bastante sobre a gente. E a preparação vem bastante focada no nosso jogo, no que a gente realmente pode fazer. A gente tem jogadores de nível muito bom e a gente está tentando ao máximo conseguir extrair isso.
Hi, my name is Maria Eduarda. I'm from MGG, and my question is for Maurice. I'll do it in Portuguese. Maurice, você está no cenário de Valorant desde o começo, né? Você já esteve próximo de muitos altos e baixos de várias equipes e vários jogadores. E eu queria saber, na sua visão, agora que você faz parte da franquia, né? O que você acha que essa visibilidade brasileira no exterior pode auxiliar o cenário interno do Brasil?
Bom, eu acredito que essa imersão do Latam com o NA vai trazer uma liga muito forte. A gente já tinha ótimos times aqui, como a Loud, como a Leviathan, nos treinos, Cru, a Fúria. Então, a gente já tinha ótimos treinos aqui, vão ter treinos melhores ainda lá fora. Então, principalmente com off-season, eu acredito que os times daqui do Brasil vão conseguir aprender com a gente quando a gente voltar. Então, é algo que vai trazer bastante mais experiência e essa possibilidade de conseguir ver mais coisas além do que aqueles simples 5, 6 times do top tier.
Hi, I'm Eduardo from Base Rush, and I want to ask Maurice as well, and I'll do it in Portuguese.
Okay.
Maurice, minha pergunta é sobre o off-season. Se 3 meses foram o suficiente com só um campeonato, o Latam Gods, se foi o suficiente para já dar um entrosamento suficiente para o Lock-in, você acha que o time ainda não está 100%, mesmo com o trio já sendo da antiga equipe?
Bom, com certeza o time ainda não está 100%, é muito pouco tempo para chegar nesse nível. Mas a gente conseguiu se entrosar bastante, a gente passou bastante tempo junto, tanto dentro quanto fora de jogo. A gente está já vivendo aqui em São Paulo, bem próximos um dos outros, todos os dias, já faz 2 meses. Então, eu acredito que para 2 meses de treino, o nível de entrosamento está realmente bem alto, a gente está se entendendo muito bem, está se divertindo juntos, está conseguindo criar aquela harmonia. Então, eu acredito que a gente consegue mandar bem nesse campeonato sim já, mas está longe do 100%, tem muito que treinar ainda, principalmente dentro do servidor. A gente vai aprendendo muito com o Bazooka e o ano vai ser longo pra gente, sim.
Oi. Hello, my name is Isadora. I'm from Tectudo, and now I speak Portuguese. Eu queria entender um pouco como que tá a expectativa de vocês para jogar lá fora, assim. Quais são os impactos, assim, em relação à carreira? O que você acha que pode mudar, assim? O que pode acrescentar pessoalmente para sua carreira, mas também para o cenário, assim, para expectativa de profissão do cenário, de poder jogar lá fora e com essa possibilidade, assim?
Bom, eu acho que começando já pela parte do cenário de visibilidade, vai ser muito incrível o pessoal poder assistir a gente jogando lá fora. Eu tenho certeza que isso vai trazer muita mídia aqui pro cenário brasileiro. O pessoal vai querer estar acompanhando, acompanhando também a nossa rotina, nossa mudança de vida lá fora, que eu sei que vai ser uma coisa um pouco difícil de acostumar. E em questão de nível, eu falaria que essa liga lá de fora da Américas terão ótimos times. Vai ser realmente 10 times muito competitivos. Então, vai ser incrível para a gente poder diariamente estar treinando num ambiente de nível um pouco mais alto aqui no Brasil, né? Porque vai unir 2 regiões, então vai ser um nível muito bom de treino para a gente.
Obrigada.
Obrigado.
Hi, David from Popline here. I just have a quick question for you guys, for you all, if you want to. You guys are all top players, inspiring a lot of people to play Valorant, to aspire to become a pro player and stay where you are right now. But do you guys still have some other player that you look up to that inspire you? You can, for everyone.
I can start with a really quick answer. For me, it's Fallen. I look up to him very much. I'm on IGL as well, so I tend to watch a lot of his videos, always fundamentals as well from CS. So he's an inspiration for me, and yeah, I think for many players in Brazil.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to answer the players that you look up to, think positively of?
I'll go. To be honest, I look up at a lot of different players. I think that's one way to bring myself up there as well. And for example, I have Stacks. He's been my idol, I'd say, ever since I started playing the game. And as time goes on, like all these players coming up, Marv, all those guys, they all impress me, and I think they are one of the best, if not the best. And I think it's nothing to be ashamed of if I have good players as my idol. So I just get a bit of this and that just to add to myself. Yeah.
Thank you. I believe that was the final question from the in-house media, and this will conclude the final press conference of the day. Thank you so much for participating, and we will all see you guys back tomorrow night.